On this season of Pocket Survival, 20 Pokemon were left stranded in the Koraidon Badlands, divided into two tribes, Corona and Minami. The Minami tribe would see the tribe align over a series of votes, all against a unified target, King the Scolipede. On Corona, two alliances waged war, a war that one alliance, led by Aqua and Zera, came out on top of, all thanks to help from Naira the Numel after some cheap intimidation tactics. The tribes would come to swap, with the new Corona tribe going to tribal twice. Even though former Minami had the minority in that tribe, it would come out with the majority as Brad and Naira would be sent home, keeping Aqua and Zera alive in the game. Whilst on Swap Minami, an alliance would form that would prove to be short-lived. As the tribes finally merged, the short-lived alliance would crumble in favor of Aqua and Zera's, sending Rue out of the game and establishing clear alliance lines, all except for 4 Mons who rode the middle: Aquamarine, Ocelot, Poppy, and Maria. Poppy would unfortunately be medically evacuated from the game, whilst Aquamarine and Ocelot were satisfied making multiple big moves against each other, acting as true rivals. All whilst the two alliances, led by Aqua and Alicia separately, were also at war. Once again, Aqua and her alliance would win the war, as Alicia was sent out at the final 6. Out of the 20 Pokemon that started in the game, only 5 remain. Aqua the Samurai. She has paved her way in this game through dominance and sheer force of will. With her closest ally still by her side, can she dominate all the way to the end? Zera the Vaporeon, the brains behind Aqua's brawn. As the third piece in this game of 3D chess, can Zera prove the victor and take the crown? Ocelot the Floragato, a magician with a keen taste for the thrill of the hunt, embroiled in a strategic game of wit with 2 other Mons. Can he outwit, outplay, and outlast the competition? Maria the Fennekin. While she's been a major pawn in some bigger players' paws, she has held the kindness and conviction that isn't well represented among the remaining Mons. Will she be able to kill them with kindness and win Pocket Survival? Aquamarine the Floatzel. As a key Mon within this game, most decisions have gone through her. After recently being exposed by Zera and Ocelot, can she finish strong and come out on top? 5 are left, but only one can be crowned the sole survivor. It is the final episode, episode 15. We are going into the finale tonight now. There are 5 Pokemon left. Only one can win at the end. Ocelot, Aquamarine, Maria, Zera, and Aqua. Okay, guys. This is where the Edge of Extinction comes into play, and King comes back and he wins the season. Okay? King is gonna pull a Chris, and he's gonna win. It's gonna happen, guys. There's been a secret Edge of Extinction the entire season. It's gonna go crazy. We are on night 36. After the vote is over, Aquamarine approaches Ocelot and asks if he's done trying to play big fish now that Alicia is gone. Ocelot is just quiet as Aquamarine keeps talking, telling him that he's not in the small pond. He's in the ocean, and there are still bigger fish than him in this game left to fry. The water types really like to talk about fish coming to fry. Alicia is gone. We've come to the end game at this point, and I am alone. It seems I can no longer keep myself away from working with Aquamarine once again. If I want to get to the end, I need an ally to get there with. As of now, I need to work with the Otter once again. Aqua and Zera celebrate as finally Alicia is gone.
They've been trying to pull this vote off since jury started, and it's finally done. Zera even points out that, despite no one trying for the specific outcome, every member of the new Minami tribe from the swap was voted out back to back to back once the merge started, and now all that's left are the members of New Corona. Aqua finds that point especially hilarious. Yes, I do want to point out how crazy that is, that despite the fact that no one was voting for that specific set of circumstances to happen, the swapped Minami tribe has technically been pagogged by accident. I wonder if anyone else noticed. Finally, Alicia is gone. That wannabe bitch can go back to mismanaging her guild for all I care. All that matters is that in a few days, it's going to be me standing tall, $1 million richer, as the winner of Pocket Survival, the Koraidon Badlands. Day 37. But before we continue the finale, there's something that I have planned. It's the Rites of Passage. Some of the remaining tribe members will get their chance to state their opinions on every Pokemon voted out before this point. Can we get Fs in the chat as we remember the fallen? Starting with the first voted out, Selena. Selena was pretty mean-spirited and hard to be around. One of very few Mons I wouldn't like to call a friend. All she did was float around, causing trouble for the tribe. It's a good thing we got her out so early on. Next, the second person voted out, Xavier, who got fucking idled out this season. Xavier had slight anger issues, but there wasn't much else about him I knew. Maybe if he hadn't been idled out, that could have changed. He was a Mon trying his best, like anyone else around here. I don't have any issues with him. Worrell, no! The Wabaker is Waback! We may not have been on the same page, but he's one hell of a warrior, coming out here just to share his story like that. Speaker was alright. It's a shame things developed to him being voted out first of the tribe. He was a nice guy. Daddy! She was not aligned with me, therefore she had to go. Shouldn't have trusted that damn dinosaur, huh, girly? She was really into anime and seemed to have some amount of popularity. Seemed like she was just here for more fans. There he is! He's here! King is here! Genuinely, what a disgusting Mon. How he got through casting to get in here, I have no idea. Could have gone to anyone better, like a Klefki. Not a good Mon. I really don't want to elaborate any further than that, to be honest. King is back. King is gone! Oh, Alexandra. Went out with an idol in her pocket. Ah, my first rival. How's it feel being gone, Alexandra? You got some dog shit elaborate story this reminds you of? We were at odds, but she sure shares that adventurous spirit I have. Hopefully she's out there somewhere sticking to it. Brad! Penguin! Man, it's been a while since I thought about him. Did I ever find out why he didn't like flying? I couldn't tell you, really. Brad was a flying type that didn't fly. That's about as useful as a dehydrated water type. How'd he get to the swamp? Naira! Nah, get her away! Get her out of here! Ah! Oh, right, Naira. I forgot about her for a while there. She was easy to forget after all. What did she do? Flip on her friends because she was scared? Naira's story was pretty tragic. Just bullied at every turn until being taken out. I still feel bad. Naira is gone. The celebration is back on. Rue, the first merge boot. Now we're getting to this stream. Rue mostly seemed lost in the game, clinging to King, then clinging to Alicia, until she was clinging to her torch as it was snuffed. Weird player. Ah, yes, the reason Alicia went after me. And look who won out at the end of the day. Button! Copper was pretty alright. I mean, he mostly talked about buttons, but that's because he's passionate about them. Sometimes, I think if he was as passionate with strategy as he's about buttons, he probably would have won the season. Button Man! Button Man! The fucking horny bug! It's still a tragedy what happened to Poppy, but I'm happy to hear he's doing better. Stay strong, little guy. Oh, right, the bug I squashed, literally! That was hilarious! Man, if I had done it on purpose, he'd be dead. Ah! She does have a point. That's a pretty good argument, actually. Ah, GG, the K-pop man. K-Fan was alright to be around. Of course, once he betrayed us, he had to go. But he was nice for morale. Ah, GG, a weird one to be sure. He started getting serious about this way too late for it to matter for him. The clown, back on our screens again. Flan has gotta be one of my best friends coming out of this. He's a great clown and he's really fun to be around. Flan was more than just a clown. He was a loyal mon to the end. He stayed by Alicia no matter what, and I respect that. Mama Miltank. 13th voted out. Idled out. The second idle out of the season. A southern mother who talked trash like the best of them. Sure, she had some anger issues, but she was by our side till her end. Ah, Mama. Right. Listen, I worked with her because I had to, not because I wanted to. She was a real bitch sometimes. Okay, yeah, tell it like it is. And the most recent Pokemon voted out, Alicia. Alicia wanted revenge and fought to get it. In the end, she couldn't quite get it done. A damn fine competitor indeed. Worthless gutter trash. How she became a guild leader, I still have no idea. That bitch is gone now. That's all that matters. Most of Aqua's reflections on these Pokemon are just talking shit about them. That is the end of the Rites of Passage as we are strolling into the Final 5 now. Final 5, huh? Can't say I'm surprised that I'm here. I mean, I've been playing my ass off since day one. I've been in control of this game from the beginning. I've been the decision maker for almost every tribal council I've been a part of. I fell off for a bit during the last few tribals, sure, but going into the end, I should have my lackeys back in the line again. And I'm going to press on to Final 3. When the jury hear about the game I played, there's no way I lose. I've made a lot of friends throughout my time here, and a few enemies, which even I'm surprised by. Sure, I've been more negative than I would like, but getting this far in has been a super big accomplishment. No matter what happens from this point on, I can still proudly say that I got to the Final 5 on a reality TV competition show. Almost no one can say that. She's happy to be here. She's happy to be here. We're officially in the end game now. War Otter and I have been side by side the whole game through, and will be side by side to the bitter end if I have anything to say about it. Sure, we have some tough competition. Miss Lady, probably the least of our worries after her game got blown up. Grumpy Cat is sort of a wild card, and Friend who can get close with almost anyone. These also happen to be our only options of who to take with us to the Final 3. If I had my way, it'd actually be Miss Lady after some thinking, but anything can happen from now till the end. He's making his yo-yo. Of course he's smug. The Final 5. Not surprised in the slightest that I'm here. Up to this point, I've been chasing my one big vote for the thrill of the hunt. A move to get a big player out and cement myself in this game. I don't think I ever got a big player out, but a big move? I'd say I pulled that one off easily, helping expose Aquamarine. Now I've got to drag her to the end as my Wooloo, lead her straight to the slaughter. I've brute forced my way to the end just like I planned. Almost every mon sitting in that jury, I've had a hand in taking out myself. Rue, Poppy, Gigi, Flan, Alicia, all out thanks to me. I've played the most dominant game one could, controlling the strongest alliance throughout the season, dragging my alliance members from the start to the end. I've crushed multiple rivals, and I've been the biggest target from even the early days, yet I remain. At this point, there's nothing that can stop me from getting to the final 3 and winning this season handily. Oh, what a way to shake things up just a little more. A hidden immunity idol has been found going into the final 5. And this is the last night it can be played, so you know this is going to show up tonight. That's crazy. Aqua and Zera pull Aquamarine in with them, and Zera asks if Aquamarine's alright seeing Ocelot go out next. Aquamarine seems to be completely up for it, and even adds in dropping Maria after to make it a true water-type final 3. Aqua and Zera are both very up for it. I'm right back in the middle again, where I live and thrive. I could go to the end with Aqua and Zera, make it a true water-type final 3, or I could go to the end with Ocelot and Maria, my lackeys since the early days. I've got to think over who I have the best chances with before making any certain decisions, but I have to make a firm choice. What I do at the next Tribal Council will determine how this season ends. Immunity! Immunity Challenge, the final 5 Immunity Challenge. We are really close to the end. For the final 5 Immunity Challenge, the Pokemon must drop a ball into a long, spiraling metal track. The ball will exit out of one of 2 exits, switching with a turn-style gear near the bottom of the track. The Mon must catch the ball and drop it back into the chute at the top of the track. Every few minutes, an additional ball is added, with a maximum of 8 balls by the end. If a Mon's ball hits the ground, they are eliminated. Last Pokemon who hasn't dropped a ball wins individual immunity, cannot be voted out at the final 5 Tribal Council. Critical moment to win immunity. And let's see how this challenge goes. The challenge is underway. Maria drops first, followed by Aquamarine, and followed by Aqua. It's come down to 2 Pokemon remaining. It will be either Ocelot or Zera winning the final 5 Immunity Challenge. Your first immunity winner of the finale is... Zera wins individual immunity once again. This Vaporeon cannot be voted out, and she is guaranteed a spot in the final 4. Zera pulls Ocelot aside, saying that the time is tonight. We wanted to get Alicia out first so he could act loyal to the end with Aqua, but tonight is the best night to take the Samurott out. Ocelot seems surprised that Zera is approaching him like this, and asks if the Vaporeon is sure, which he claims he is. The betrayal is actually happening, it looks like. Zera is definitely planning some kind of trick. I have no doubts about it. The question is, would it benefit me to let him pull it off? As far as tonight goes, I'm probably one of the bigger targets. Do I just trust that he's not trying to get me out tonight? I'm unsure. When Aqua and Zera come together, Zera confirms that it's Aquamarine with them to the final 3, which Aqua agrees on. Zera then confirms Ocelot is the vote tonight and asks if Aqua can try to go behind Aquamarine's back and try to convince Maria to join them. Aquamarine is likely to vote on their side and all, but she may still try to play tricky. Aqua agrees to try. The cat's getting yanked out of the bag tonight. Ocelot's going out and getting us one step closer to the water-type final 3 we've been working towards the past week or two now. All I have to do left All I have left to do is talk to Maria. Should be easy. I can't take the approach I did with that weak bratty Numel though, because that didn't work on the night Copper got voted out. I gotta try something else. What does Aqua have in mind? Aquamarine, Ocelot, and Maria come together, with Ocelot pushing to the two that Aqua goes out tonight. Maria seems down for it, and so does Aquamarine, but she does make a smug comment welcoming him back to her fold. Ocelot seems annoyed hearing that, but doesn't make any direct comments. Face turn Aqua. You know, it does feel good to hold one over. It does feel good to hold one over on Ocelot, making that whole big show of exposing me, only to come crawling back a few votes later because he needs me. I don't think I'll ever be letting him live that down. I'll bruise his expansive ego every chance I get. Aqua pulls Maria aside and starts talking down Maria's game about how, from her perspective, Maria has been riding the coattails of other players like Aquamarine and Ocelot the entire game, which the jury won't like. She pitches that Maria should flip tonight, vote Ocelot out, which would add something to her resume she can pitch to the jury. Maria seems conflicted hearing that. Oh my god, Aqua trying to get someone to do something without screaming at them? This is new territory for her. I don't know what to do. On one end, I really don't like Aqua, and I don't want to be on her side or vote with her. But on the other end, she's kinda right? I mean, I've done cool stuff like convincing others to vote certain ways, yeah, but that was for Aquamarine or Ocelot. I don't really have anything I can say I did on my own. Then again, how would this make any difference? I'd just be riding someone else's coattails now. I gotta think. The final 5 Tribal Council. Before we begin, I'd like to officially welcome Poppy to the jury, who has made a substantial enough recovery from surgery to be able to join us for the remaining Tribal Councils this season. First things first, Zara, congratulations on winning individual immunity. You cannot be voted out tonight. That's right, no matter what happens, this Vaporeon is Final Four bound. It's very relieving knowing I'm safe at this very crucial Tribal Council. That's right, tonight is very critical to the rest of the game. We are in the final stages, of course. Final 5 goes to 4, then goes to 3, where a winner is then decided. There are very few eliminations left to get through before reaching the end. Swinging his yo-yos. It's much easier to weave through the game undetected when many others are around. With this view, everything you do is under a microscope. Weave through? Only cowards talk like that, trying to be sneaky to get here. I've been a threat since the very start, and I've powered my way through here. That ain't changing. Well, we're really close to the end. I'm really excited for it to be over. I've got a lot of extra friendship bracelets to make when I get home. As host said, this is the hardest part of the game. Only one of us can win after all, so we must play until the very end. Wouldn't want any regrets going into the final 3 after all. Well, before we find out who reaches the final 3, we have to find out who won't be reaching the final 4. It is time to vote Ocelot. You're up first. Alright, Zara. I know you've got something up your sleeve, so I'll bite. Let's see what you got. Alright. Tonight is what this game is all about. Time to give the jury a show. If tonight is the last night, any advantages can be played. If anyone wants to play one now, would be the time to do so. You know, I've been holding this idol for a while now, all the way since the swap. It's been burning a hole in my pocket, so I'd like to use it. But I'm immune, so I'll use this on Aqua tonight. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Aqua will not count. Would anyone else like to play anything? Oh, did you think I was done? No, I have another one. Just got this one earlier today. See, I want to make tonight interesting, so I'm playing this one on Ocelot. This is also a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Ocelot will not count. Would anyone else like to play anything? Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. Pokemon voted out will be asked to leave the Tribal Council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Ocelot. Does not count. Aqua. Does not count. Ocelot. Does not count. Aqua. Does not count. 1 vote left. 15th Pokemon voted out and the 7th member of our jury. Maria. You're gonna have to bring me your torch. I had a lot of fun making friends with most of you. I hope you guys had just as much fun being around me for the past 37 days. Maria, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. Oh wow, I can't believe it's actually over. What a journey, huh? I made it all the way to the final 5. That's gotta count for something. And what a way to go out, huh? I'm so happy. I made so many great friends and had such a fun time here. Double idol play by the same person. To control the sole vote in the final 5. And they take Maria out. Here is what's left of the Konami tribe. The final 4. Only 1 more Pokemon will be eliminated. This is definitely different from Lugia's Reef, where there was like maybe one, maybe 2 deserving winners in the end. I think they all do deserve it narratively. Night 37. Aqua is very annoyed with Zera, demanding to know why he would save Ocelot like that and take Maria out. Zera insists it's better for the plan, that he wanted to find a way to take out the weakest link in a big showy way, hence what he did to take out Friend. Not to mention, Friend is very well liked by almost every jury member, so probably would have won at the end against everyone. Zera is starting to overstep his boundaries. He knows that if he has a plan, telling me is the first thing he needs to do. Instead, he acted on his own. Yet still, he remains loyal. I'll have to have a talk with him regarding this, but at this point, what's done is done. Ocelot asks Aquamarine if she voted with him or for him. She tries to insist she voted with him, but he believes Maria wouldn't have voted with Aqua at that point to try and take him out. Despite the truth of the situation, he seems to believe Aquamarine voted against him. Seems like it's just me now going into the final 4. If I want to get to the end, I'm gonna have to pave my own way. Against 3 water types all working together, that's gonna be a challenge. But I am the one with type advantage. There's always a chance. We are in day 38. Ocelot tries to appeal to Zera by praising him for his play at last night's tribal council, and suggests they work together this final round and try to get to the end together. Zera agrees since they're the last 2 boys left in the game at this point. Grumpy Cat is fine and all, but he's a little... what's the word? Idiotic? Yeah, that. I mean, he's tried to work with me multiple times in the past week, and it hasn't worked pretty much each and every time, yet he keeps asking. I don't know why he keeps trying to... I don't know why he keeps trying so hard to get this to work. Aqua and Aquamarine are relaxing in the river when game talk comes up, with Aqua telling Aquamarine that Ocelot has to go tonight. Aquamarine doesn't seem interested though, talking about how now that's the final 4, there's no reason to hold back. Aqua has the highest chance of winning going to the end, so she has to be the one to go tonight. Hell, that's why she voted for her last night. Aqua is shocked and angered by the reveal and tries to start an argument. One Aquamarine just walks away from. Oh my god, Aquamarine is suddenly being very blunt. Oh my god. There isn't any reason to act like any other scenario is the case anymore. No idols can be played, so no worry in telling it like it is. Aqua needs to go tonight. If she doesn't, she wins tomorrow. That can't be allowed to happen. Not when I still have a shot at winning myself. It's bye-bye for you, Psycho. It's time for the final immunity challenge of the season. It is down to this. This is the final immunity challenge. One person will win, guarantee their spot in the final 3. Meanwhile, the remaining 3 are at risk to be the final player voted out this season. The final 4 Pokemon would race up a 3-story tower to retrieve a bag of puzzle pieces tied to a post and then slide down a water slide. 2 more puzzle piece bags need to be retrieved before the Pokemon could start on the puzzle. The first Pokemon to assemble their puzzle at the top of the tower wins the final individual immunity and is guaranteed a spot in the final 3, guaranteed a chance to state their case to the jury of why they should win the title, the sole survivor, and the $1 million prize that comes with it. Zera wins the final immunity challenge, earning their spot in the final 3. Zera guaranteed to reach the end, which means it will be either Aquamarine, Aqua, or Ocelot going out tonight. Zera now 3 individual immunity wins in a row, continuing to round out that really solid game of theirs. Aquamarine tries to ask Ocelot to vote Aqua out tonight, but Ocelot remarks back quickly, asking why he should trust her at this point. She tells him that trust isn't a factor tonight. The only factor is who everyone thinks they have the best chances at winning against in the finals, and for Aquamarine, that is an Aqua. She's sure that's the same for Ocelot and even Zera. This is going to be harder than I thought. The only mons around that I can work with all don't trust me in the slightest. They need to sit back and realize what's best for their games. I know that if I sit beside any of them outside of Aqua, I win hands down for best game. But if Aqua makes it to Final Tribal Council, that's it. Game over. She won. Everyone else lost. When Aqua and Zera meet up, Aqua tells Zera about the conversation she had with Aquamarine. Zera sighs, telling Aqua that they have to stay the course and vote out Ocelot. However, Aqua insists otherwise, now wanting to vote Aquamarine out after her brutal honesty. Aquamarine, you know, maybe this is why you don't just say that kind of stuff. You know? That dumb orange whiny brat thinks she can openly say she wants me out and just get away with it without getting voted for tonight? She's got another thing coming. As far as I'm concerned, plans have officially changed. Aquamarine is gone tonight. When Ocelot and Zera meet back up again, they come to discuss what their counterparts said and come to talk together about who would be better for them to take to the end. It seems they may actually work together this tribal council. The question comes down to Aquamarine or Aqua. One of them must go, the other I must contend with at the end. The question remains, who would be better to bring to the end? Well, I'm certain I already know the answer to that. Tonight's the last vote off, and even though I have immunity, I'm still pretty nervous. This locks in the final 3, of course, so I gotta try and bring mons I can beat in the end. It seems like Grumpy Cat is off the hook for now, so it's just between War Otter, the mon I've been loyally beside since the beginning, or Miss Lady, who's had her paws in plenty of votes before this. It all comes down to this. Who makes it to the final 3 alongside Zera? Let's find out now. First things first, congratulations Zera on winning the final immunity challenge. You are safe tonight, being the first mon to earn your way into the final 3. Thanks, it means a lot. Gee, I went on a bit of an immunity run in the end, huh? Who would have thought I'd be the one safe for so long? Meanwhile, Aqua, Ocelot, Aquamarine, one of you is about to be the last Mon voted out of this game. Rather than asking questions, I'm going to give each of you the chance to pitch why you should reach the end of the game. Isn't it obvious? I've been the most dominant force this game has seen since coming here. I've personally squashed massive threats and deserve to reach the end and win this game. Well, I may have had a rough time getting here, but I've still played to the best of my ability. Compared to my competition, I see no reason to target me over them. I dare say I've had the game of a lifetime out here. Sure, it's featured both ups and downs, but despite it all, I find myself here, one vote away from the end. And I plan on surviving this vote. Well then, it's time to find out just who the last Pokemon voted out will be. It is time to vote Zera. You're up first. Sorry to play spoiler. Not. You've been wiggling your way around us for ages, but it will all be for nothing. Can't wiggle to the end, worm. You're the only threat to my victory, Aqua. Tonight you leave, and tomorrow I win $1 million. The heist of the century. Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. Pokemon voted out will be asked to leave the Tribal Council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Aquamarine. That's 1 vote Aquamarine. Aqua. That's 1 vote Aquamarine. 1 vote Aqua. Aqua. That's 2 votes Aqua. 1 vote Aquamarine. 1 vote left. Aquamarine. We are tied. 2 votes Aquamarine, 2 votes Aqua. Tie votes work differently in the final 4. Aquamarine and Aqua will both get their chance to say why they should remain in the game. Afterward, Ocelot and Zera will get the chance to discuss amongst themselves and try to agree on who should be voted out. If they can't agree, then Aqua and Aquamarine will compete in a fire-making challenge to determine who stays and who goes. Are you serious? Between us, Aqua is the clear and true threat to win in the end. If you take her, you'll doom yourself to a loss. So keep me in. Oh, please. You're hardly deserving of reaching the final 3. You're just some little bitch that lucked her way to the end. I deserve to win. I was under the impression we were on the same page for once, Zera, as to who should be taken out. Well, by the looks of it, that isn't quite the case. I've been loyal to War Otter over here since day 1, and that isn't going to change on day 38. I refuse to budge. Well, Aqua has played the most visible game out of us all, and I dare say a dominant one. She likely wins sitting at the end, and I refuse to see that outcome. I refuse to budge as well. Then we are deadlocked. As a result, Aqua and Aquamarine must compete in a fire-making challenge against one another. The winner will earn their place in the final 3, and the loser will become the final member of our jury. It all comes down to this. The fire-making challenge is set up. You may now begin. The winner is Aquamarine. Aquamarine makes fire and moves on to the final 3. Meanwhile, Aqua, you're gonna have to bring me your torch. Aqua, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. Taken out at the final opportunity. Damn those brats! I've been robbed of victory here. Screw this! Taken out the last possible chance. Aqua goes out at final 4, meaning we are left with the final 3 of Ocelot, Aquamarine, and Zera. We were 1 vote away. Keep in mind, 1 vote away from all 3 water types that started this game reaching the Final Four. 1 vote away. And I want to point out how fitting of a Final 3 this is, because in my personal opinion, all 3 of these Pokemon were like the strategic masterminds of wherever they were, right? All of them played these super heavy strategy-based games, like always trying to outfox each other, to the point where I feel like you look at these 3, and this is like a 3-way rivalry that ends with one of them winning $1 million right now. I personally see that as a super fitting Final 3. Day 39. We are at the end. The final day. No more vote outs. No one at risk of going home. It just comes down to stating their case tonight at Tribal Council to the jury. The Final 3 starts the day off by enjoying their celebratory Final 3 breakfast feast that they are given, and then relax together throughout most of the day. They also take time to think on their own about what they will say going into Final Tribal Council. Day 39. It's been one hell of a journey to get here, when I had to fight and claw my way through each and every vote. I proudly took my spot in the middle early in the game, and I rode that spot as far as it could take me. That blow up was unfortunate, but I can proudly say I've bounced back since then, and I have a real shot of coming out of Final Tribal Council with the title of Sole Survivor. And he's swinging his yo-yo smugly, of course. He fucking loves his yo-yos. It's been more challenging than I originally foresaw to get here today, at the end. I've known since day 1 I would be here, yet still, there's something in me breathing a sigh of relief now that it's actually happened. I never did get to personally take out a big target, but the choices I made had a substantial impact on the game at every turn. Tonight is my night. Loyalty has been the name of the game for me. I clung alongside War Otter since the beginning, the face of terror and the strategic mastermind that orchestrated it. I've helped her and myself get as deep as we could. It's unfortunate we couldn't both be here, but I will win. There's nothing that Miss Lady or Grumpy Cat can do to change that outcome. I will be victorious. Welcome to the Final Tribal Council. You 3 have reached the end of the game, and now there's only one thing left to do. State your case to the jury as to why you should win this game. This will go through 2 phases. First, each of you will get to make a pitch as to why you deserve to win the title of Sole Survivor and the $1 million prize that comes with it. Then, every juror will stand up here and ask a question. To make sure everyone gets the same amount of questions, the first 2 jurors, Copper and Poppy, will ask 1 question to everyone, while the remainder will have questions for 1 player each. You may now start with your pitches. Aquamarine will go first, followed by Ocelot, followed by Zera. Well, jury, when it comes down to it, I've played the best game out of anyone here. I led the middle of the tribe with ease, weaving my way masterfully through 2 alliances at war with each other. I fought my way through war and I came out on the other end stronger than ever. For that alone, I deserve to be crowned the winner tonight. The dictionary defines victor as a Pokemon who defeats an enemy or opponent in a battle, game, or other competition. I may not have defeated anyone in the traditional way, but between these 2, I am the clear victor. I have outplayed both of them to the bitter end, and I did it while slowing down, not only playing for the strategic advantage. That's why I should win. A lot of you may just see me as War Otter's lackey or friend, but truth be told, I am far more than that. I've used top-tier strategy to execute any move I've been told is the plan. War Otter gave the orders, and I executed swiftly and most often without fail. I played the most loyal game out of everyone here, and for that, you should vote for me to win. We will now begin the jury questioning phase of Final Tribal. 1 at a time, in order of elimination, a juror will stand up, ask a question directed either to all of you or just one of you, and sit down. Everyone will be asked the same total amount of questions. Aquamarine, Ocelot, Zera, How did buttons and pushing them affect your game? What? It seems the lover of all things buttons can't push the idea of them away for even a second to ask a serious question at Final Tribal Council. Yes, it does seem like that. Zera, Ocelot, Aquamarine. Based on what I heard from my friend Maria, all three of you reacted very differently to how I was eliminated. Would each of you elaborate on what you did? That's a pretty self-serving question. This doesn't really relate to our game. I felt bad for a little, sure, but the game must go on. Likewise, most of us were under the impression you'd be back before Tribal that night, so nothing changed from the usual. Heartless scum. See, I saw how upset Maria was, hoping you'd be fine, and I chose to stay by her side the whole way through, to make sure she was okay. The game wasn't important at that moment. Ocelot, when I was still in the game, you seemed sort of directionless. Now that you're here, that's completely changed. How? Well, Gigi, around the time you were voted out was a few votes after an attempted and failed flip I tried to pull off. It left me exposed, so I had to lie low at the time. But that's long in the past now. Zera, not really a game question, but I noticed you gave a lot of Mons nicknames and called them strictly by those names. Why? Good question, Clown. I give everyone I like nicknames that fit their personality. Then I give everyone I dislike nicknames for what I don't like. Bet you can't guess my opinion of you! Aquamarine, what would you say about the allegations that you were nothing but a spineless, yellow-bellied, whiny brat? A-sass question. A-sass question. Anita, why don't you have a heart? Aquamarine, you're so spineless. I wasn't? Where's this hostility coming from? We were working together, were we not? I'm unsure where all this is coming from. Ocelot, why is it that you chose to align with me, even though I was clearly on the losing side? There were a few reasons. For one, I wanted to make a play to define my game. But also, I guess I just had a soft side for you and your alliance. I stuck around as long as I could. Aquamarine, please answer honestly. Did you see me as a friend or just a lackey? Because the other jurors have been saying we weren't actually friends. Well, of course I saw you as a friend, Maria. How could I not? You were just so friendly and amazing, a true friend until the end. Zera, I'm choosing not to ask a question. Why bother when my mind is made up? If I can't win, it may as well be you, right? Aw, thanks, War Otter. That means a lot. Alright, now that you three have pitched your cases and answered your questions, it's time we wrap this one up. For the final time, it is time to vote. Jury, you are voting for who you want to win this game. Copper, you're up first. Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. The Pokemon with the most votes will be crowned the winner of Pocket Survival the Koraidon Badlands. I'll read the votes. First vote. Zera. That's one vote, Zera. Aquamarine. That's one vote, Zera. One vote, Aquamarine. Ocelot. That's one vote, Zera. One vote, Aquamarine. One vote, Ocelot. Ocelot. That's two votes, Ocelot. One vote, Zera. One vote, Aquamarine. Zera. That's two votes, Ocelot. Two votes, Zera. One vote, Aquamarine. Ocelot. That's three votes, Ocelot. Two votes, Zera. One vote, Aquamarine. The winner of Pocket Survival the Koraidon Badlands, Ocelot. Congratulations to Ocelot. The Floragato wins. Ocelot, you are the winner of Pocket Survival the Koraidon Badlands and the $1 million prize that comes with it. The Floragato did it. He went into the final four. 3 water types, 1 grass type, and he came out on top in the end. Coming into this game, this is the exact outcome I expected. The journey to get here was anything but my expectations, yet still, I stand tall as your winner. It is an honor. That's the Ocelot. So my opinion here is, like, looking at the jury makeup, most of them were wronged by Aqua in some way or another. And you can kind of tell that some of them were a little bitter. My opinion is that Zera's closeness with Aqua is what cost him in the end. I actually expected it from seeing the final jury question. Zera made enemies, sadly. Aquamarine was fake as fuck. Yeah, like I said, I think Zera had kind of, like, lessened his chances by being so closely aligned with Aqua, someone that most of the people on the jury didn't really like. Like, Aqua had wronged almost all of them in some way. The horny bug voted for Aquamarine, though, so that's funny. When it comes to Aquamarine, I really do think that blow-up saw her get, like, seen negatively on the jury. And then when it comes to Ocelot, I think Alicia did a lot of the heavy lifting because a lot of the Pokemon that were in the jury were pretty close with Alicia. So Alicia probably gave a lot of the rub from Ocelot being nice to her near the end and being loyal to her once he actually started working with her and even playing an idol on her, like, to the end. So I think a lot of his end game is what got him the win personally. Like, who he chose to align with specifically. I can see everything you're talking about. Peak. I am wording correctly that. This is great. I really love this. This was an amazing season. Like, top tier shit. What do you think the chances of the jury not being bitter towards Aqua if she was there? I have no idea. I have a lot to watch when I have the time. Yeah, dude. The pre-merge was really solid, too. Like, everything about this was hitting. There was, like, maybe a little bit of a weak part, kind of, at the, like, mostly when Corona went to Tribal Council, it was a little weak. But there was some strong stuff that happened. Let's go through the stats. So here is, again, just like last season, the proof that all of this was made through Brant Steel. This is the proof that everything, a part of the sim, happened because the website said it wanted to. Who's my least favorite character? Of this entire group? Oh yeah, I do gotta say that. So, of the entire group, overall, I think my least favorite character is Danny. Just because I couldn't really relate to it that much. I like anime, but, like, I don't know. It's a bit off for me. I didn't really like Danny all that much. Going into the merge, though, Flan kind of got murdered a bit. Because he stopped acting like a clown. At least for a decent chunk of it there. There's Masquerada. Speaking of the devil, Masquerada in a bra. Yeah, this is the proof that this happened here. Going into the final, yes, Zera received no votes. Ocelot only received 2. When did you do the first half of the sim? Last night. I can send the links to the Twitch VODs here. Yeah, we did that last night. We did them both in, like, over the course of the weekend. Copper, by the way, received the most votes. I also tracked how many confessionals everyone got, just because I wanted to see the comparison with the confessional change. In Season 1, there were 134 confessionals. In Season 2, there were, like, I think around 280 with the new confessional change, so a lot. Even then, with how deep Copper got in, because there was never really much to talk about if he went into a confessional, because he was a really one-note character, he only had 3 total confessionals, including his vote out. Who's my favorite character? Let me look at the whole cast again. My favorite of these, there are 3 that I have a soft spot for, which is I actually kind of like Alicia and Rue. They're some of my favorites because also that like little duo was great. I love that ship. It is so much of a better ship than any of the ships that happen in Lugia's Reef because it actually developed naturally through storyline and events taking place. I sure did notice Copper's lack of screen time. Yeah, it makes sense because I made him, but it was funny. It was funny, but yeah, there was nothing going on. And also, I liked King. I liked King. King was funny. I loved Alexandra too. Honestly, there's a lot of these people that I really liked. Most strategic was Aqua, Aquamarine, Ocelot. I disagree. That did not showcase. I recall Apple making that. Yeah, I did ask Apple too. Zera is peak. There is one last thing to go over for this stream. Wait, Aquamarine was the Floatzel LMFAO and not me assuming the Vaporeon was Aquamarine. There is one last thing to go over for next season. What did you think of all the Naira shitting in the chat? I understand why it happened because that kind of stuff, people get annoyed by stuff like whining like that. I did genuinely like Naira though. I did genuinely not like Naira and thought that I was writing like this sad, tragic kind of thing that people would be upset about to try to cement Aqua as like a really bad person going into the merge to like further establish that Aqua is just mean and cruel. That was the main goal of that, but then everyone just hated Naira. So it didn't really work. It really didn't work. I had to pick what music I'm gonna do here. I probably would too, to be honest. I do think it's sad and absolutely made Aqua a hate sink, but memeing on her is so funny. It was pretty funny. All right. Would you guys like to find out the plans for next season? Because just like at the end of Lugia's Reef, I do have the logo for season 3 ready. It's good to go. It's ready to go. Whoever wants to see it. Because there is a plan. And it's going to be a bit different from what we've experienced so far. I got to pick a good song for this reveal. 3? Start 3. All right. Aqua's whole strategy was to be a jerk and or it got her that far. All right. Finally, a date in which I fuck up my sleep schedule score. It is time for the reveal of season 3. Did the stream die? I think that's probably just on your end. Why is Aquamarine lost? It is time for the reveal of season 3 of Pocket Survival. Which legendary will the season be based on this time? Let's find out. For this season of Pocket Survival, we're going bigger and better than ever before.
Let's get this shit started!
I'm Amber. I'm still Paldea's darling in the hearts of millions.
Why is the great Dexheart out here? It's to become 4-time world champion.
I'm Bo. I'm strong as hell and loyal as can be. So of course I'd make a good ally in this game.
My name's Thacher. I've auditioned to prove my mettle and utterly devastate the competition.
I am Summer of Team Hotcake. Don't want to clue anyone in on the fun that we'll be having.
The name's Goliath. They're in for a surprise when I come out guns blazing and show them off.